You're live. Okay. Welcome everybody to a new year. Welcome to the board meeting of Central Tablelands Water on the 18th of February 2026. I hope everyone's had a lovely break over this new year. It's been quite a good one. Over this new year. It's been quite a good one. We might turn that off. Can we turn that off? Thanks. I'd like to start with an acknowledgement of country. I would like to acknowledge the Wiradjuri people who are the traditional custodians of the land. I'd also like to pay respect to their people, both past and present, and extend that respect to other Aboriginal Australians who are present or who may be watching in on our new live stream. In accordance with the Central Tablelands Water Code of Meeting Practice, this meeting is live streamed now for effectively the first time. It's the first official time. The live stream will allow members of the public to view the proceedings of the council meetings. The objective of this service is to eliminate geographic and other access barriers for the community wishing to learn more about council's decision-making processes. By speaking at a council meeting, you agree to be audio and visually recorded. Please ensure that when you speak at this council meeting, you are respectful to others and always use appropriate language. I don't really even need to say that, but anyway, thank you. Whilst the council will make every effort to ensure that live streaming service is available, it takes no responsibility for, it cannot be held liable for technical issues beyond its control. Live streaming is a free public service and is an official record of council meetings. Minutes will be made of all council meetings and published within 2 weeks after the meeting. For a copy of the recording or minutes, please refer to the council's website. Council does not accept any responsibility for any verbal comments made during council meetings which may be inaccurate, incorrect, defamatory or contrary to law, and does not warrant nor represent that the material or statements made during the meeting are complete, reliable, accurate or free from error. The live stream is primarily set up to capture the proceedings of council meeting, and members of the public attending the council meeting need to be aware they may be recorded as part of the proceedings. Are there any apologies or applications for leave of absence? We have all members here. Obviously, we have an apology from the General Manager. And we have Lynette here standing in for Charlie, who's on well-deserved leave. And if he's online, go and have a pina colada, Charlie. All is well. Go and enjoy your leave. I have a mover, please. So, Councillor Boswich, seconded by Councillor Newstead. All in favour?
Aye.
Aye, carried. Confirmation of the minutes, item 5. Have a mover. Councillor Paulette, seconded by Councillor Nash. Are there any issues there with the minutes from the last meeting? Nothing there? Okay. I'll put that. All in favour?
Aye.
Aye, carried. Item 6. Matters arising. Are there no matters arising?
No.
No, we don't need to put that, do we? No. 7 is disclosures of interests. Any?
No, nothing.
Nothing to declare? Nothing to declare? Do we need to put that?
Neither.
Yeah, okay. Moved by Councillor Nash, seconded by Councillor Boswich. Nothing to declare? Okay, I'll put that. All in favour?
Aye.
It's carried. There's no chairperson's minute. Councillor representation, item 9. I think we can do that separately or afterwards. I think there hasn't been
Too much, no.
nothing much over the Christmas New Year break.
Just a Christmas party.
Well, the last meeting, of course. Those of us who attended the last meeting. And I haven't attended anything, I don't think, since then. So I'll move on. Notices of motion, Lynette?
Yeah.
There are no notices of motion. So we move on to 11 reports of staff. And to page, bear with me. Page 10, is that right?
That's correct.
Okay, 11.1, operations and project updates. Recommendation that council note the update provided on operations and projects currently underway. Can I have a mover? Councillor Boswich, seconded by Councillor Paulette. I'll pass it over to the acting general manager.
Thank you, through you, Mr. Chair. As the report says, there are some projects that we're continuing to work on. They range from the customer service requests, and there's some information on the treatment flows there. The water meters we're looking at that, and we've commenced that process. The smart meters are being processed in collaboration with the JO, so that's still in exploration. The Canowindra depot is progressing. We had the DA in with Combined Council. They've asked for some more information, so we've provided that information and we're just waiting for a response to that. It's ready to go when we get that finalised. The water loss project is being progressed as a staged program, and the assessments have been undertaken, so we're looking at the subject to the electrical panel review, which is later in the meeting. We're ready to go out and commence to progress the bulk flow meter installation. The Blaney, yes?
Just had a question on that, through you, Chairman.
Sure.
It says with the data logs, is that on top of what we did with the JO? So is this an extra? Is this
Yes,
extra?
that is correct, yeah.
So is there a extra cost as well?
No, it was included.
Okay.
Yeah.
No worries, thank you.
The Blaney Yard, so the Blaney office car park is having some improvements to the condition and the functionality of it. So we've put out requests for quotes for that, and that's currently being prepared. The sub-regional town strategy continues, and as a collaborative regional initiative involving Central Tablelands Water, Orange Council, Cabon, the guys actually had a meeting, the staff had a meeting with Orange over the last couple of weeks, and that's progressing along. The Bellabula Water Project is continuing, not really much to report on that. The Orange Pipeline Project is progressing, and the working party between CTW and Orange Party have met recently, and that's progressing. The asset revaluation is, as part of the JO, have appointed Marsh as the independent valuer, and that's taking place. The work has commenced, and that's progressing. And that's about, unless you have some other questions.
Well, I'll put it out to councillors. Other questions on any of those items?
Yes,
Councillor Nash?
through the chair, the customer service one. I know there must have been a lot of breaks at one stage, and I know in Mildred there was one that they said had been reported, and it ran for ages and ages. I just wonder, was it a busy time, or was there just not many workers? Or
When you say it hadn't been reported,
it had been, they'd rang and reported it,
Yeah.
and they said it's still doing it. They're still running, that water's still running a fair few hours later. So I just wondered, was there are not people about, or?
was this over the Christmas
Yeah,
period?
yeah.
Just before Christmas.
Just before Christmas, we did have a skeleton staff, and they were quite busy with us. There were actually quite a high level of leaks at that point in time, but I'll look into that.
Yeah,
Find out why.
just one at Manildra it was.
If
Okay.
I remember, there were 2 breaks,
Yeah.
and they were already attending to one.
Yes.
Oh,
And then
that might have
Manildra
been what it
came
was.
in, and then they were trying to finish that, and then would have to travel across to Manildra.
Right, yeah, okay, thank you. Just thought I'd mention that.
No problem.
Sorry, I got a phone call from the mayor of Cabon. While I was on leave, saying, there's a break in the Eldred, did you know about it? Yes, and no, it was already being attended to by that stage.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
good.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments about any of those? So there's not a hell of a lot of capital works happening at the moment, but the 2 little projects. So the just fixing up the Canowindra depot and the office yard improvement in Blaney. So just 2 little projects happening at the moment. that will
If I
change.
could, through Chair, there are some other capital work programs happening, and we've looked at that as part of the quarterly budget review, and we'll cover that in
Okay,
that report.
a bit later. Okay, that'll be good. Yeah, I noticed that there's been a little uptick in usage and consumption, which is sort of good, because hopefully that'll mean that we get a little bit more income coming through in this financial year. Sorry, this last quarter. We won't find that out until the next QBR statement. But I was noticing that the drop off in Lake Roland's capacity, that's quite a drop over that period of time. It just highlights to me the vulnerability we have.
Yes.
Which is really why the water security project is so important for us. We are incredibly vulnerable if we don't get rain and we get pretty high consumption. So just something to keep in mind. That's all I wanted to say there. No further comments or questions? Okay, well, I'll put that all in favour.
Aye.
That's carried. Thank you. Item 11.2, page 15, Safe and Secure Water Program Stage 2 update. The recommendation there is the council receive and note the status of works for the Safe and Secure Water Program funding indeed SSWP 216. Do I have a mover? Councillor Best, and a seconder, Councillor Newstead. General Manager, over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll take the report as read. There are a couple of highlights. I wanted to reinforce the dwelling growth rates that are used in the report, just to highlight that the Canowindra figures are from the Cabon settlement strategy, and the Blaney and Millthorpe ones are actually used we've used the Blaney Council sewer statistics because they're slightly higher than the settlement strategy. So that's where we get those, they're sourced from.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. So they're not based on the assumptions that the New South Wales government set of assumptions.
No.
So it's something a little bit more local.
Yes.
Yeah, this is a question on the acting general manager yesterday when we went through the business papers. These figures here have to reflect the reality of development or change in population over the next few decades, and the assumptions being used by the New South Wales government, I think, are a little too low for our region. And so I was just asking where this information came from. Any questions or comments about each one of these? You remember these are the 9 projects, the 9 tasks that were being partly funded by TQ, so half funded by them, half funded by us. Things that we, in many cases, would do anyway. Do you remember that? All good?
Through the chair, this is plus what's already there, isn't it? Like, it's not the whole lot of dwellings.
No, this is that's actually what is it? It says there the adopted dwelling growth rates are there.
Yeah, so it's growth rates, isn't it?
Yeah.
So they'd add that too.
It is the additional
On
top
yeah.
of.
Thank you.
No.
No.
Yeah, it'd have to be.
It's total number.
Total, it's
That's
total.
what I read it
Yeah.
as, but,
Yeah, it's total.
No,
number.
yep.
total
It'd
number.
have to be. Can't be the growth rate.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's a total number.
So that's the total number that they think will be in Blaney.
So basically, this between 2023 and 2028,
Which is right.
no change. That can't be right.
Interesting.
That is.
That can't be right.
Yeah.
It'd be more than 1,000 now, wouldn't it? No. Okay.
I'll take that on board and bring that back.
When the households are usually 2.3 households.
Dwellings, not people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But if you,
dwellings. This is
but if you multiply the amount of dwellings by 2.3, you're getting close to the population of Blyth.
Right. Thank you.
That's all.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other thing I think we should make sure is that the levels of service framework that's there, that draft document, once it's developed, should definitely come back to the board, because I believe that levels of service is a strategic issue.
Oh, it's very important.
Yeah, it's something that we should be adjudicating.
Through you, Mr Chair, all of these will actually come back to the board
Yep.
for confirmation before they're actually finalised.
Okay, great, thank you. Are there any other questions or comments about any of those? No? Okay, I'll put that. All in favour?
Aye.
That's carried, thank you. 11.3, page 18. Application for annual leave for the General Manager. The recommendation there, the Council approve annual leave for the period requested by the General Manager and the Executive Manager Corporate Service be appointed as Acting General Manager with associated delegations during this period of leave. Can I have a mover? Councillor Goswich, seconded by Councillor Parlett. Comments, questions? Nothing? Everyone's happy for the General Manager, who should not be online, to have another period of short leave there?
Yeah.
Okay. All in favour?
Aye.
Aye, that's carried. We could have strung that out a bit longer, couldn't we? A long debate about it. Okay, 11.4, page 19, the panel tender electrical contractor panel. The recommendation there, the Council received the electrical contractor panel report. Secondly, to accept the 12 contractors recorded in the report for the provision of electrical contracting services in accordance with tender number 20251127. Endorse the contract term as the 19th of February, basically today, through to the 18th of February 29, unless otherwise superseded by future tenders, and delegate authority to the General Manager and the Executive Manager Operations and Technical Services to accept any additional suppliers seeking inclusion to the electrical contractor panel during the term of this contract. And a mover, please. Moved by Councillor Best, seconded by Councillor Newstead. Any questions? Or General Manager, do you want to speak to it?
I'll take it as read. It's, quite self-explanatory. Just, we were happy, we received 12 tenders to put on this panel, and with the understanding that being included on the contract doesn't infer a guaranteed work, but we're keen to work that we would like some of these to proceed with, so looking forward to getting started.
My only problem for the chair would be, which one do you get? I don't know, I just think it's a lot of contractors. That's only my opinion.
Through the chair, how many have you had in the past?
So through the chair, this is our first panel, electrical panel.
Okay.
So we've had to put out for quote or for individual tenders if we've had work. And by having the tender, it's basically, we put it out to them, whoever's available at the time is able to respond. That's who we go with.
Okay, so that's why you wanted so many?
Yep.
Yeah.
I
Thank you.
I do think it's a good idea to have as many as you can, because usually they're working. So
That's right.
Yeah.
And I'm also
Someone
guessing that there's a large number because it's a wide area, so you might have a few from Blaney, a few out of Greenfall, and
That's correct,
Yeah.
that makes sense. No other questions or comments? Okay, I'll put that. All in favour?
Aye.
That's carried. Item 11.5, quarterly budget review statement, 31st of December 2025. The recommendation there is that the Council adopt the quarterly budget review statement for the quarter ending 31st of December 2025, and the variations therein be voted. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Parlett, seconded by Councillor Nash. I'll pass that over to the Executive Management Accountant, Claire.
Thank
If
you,
you'd like
Chair.
to make comment.
So through you, Chair, overall financially, it is a good news story.
Yeah.
I hope you all saw that. So the
I did.
operational deficit coming up from 729 to 298. And the itemised changes are there on page 33. But just to highlight the significant items, it's a good news and a bad news story in terms of staff shortages. It means that we're not getting through the programmes we need to get through. Financially, that's good because we're not spending the money. Operationally, that's not so good because we're not getting through the programmes we need to get through. So as we come to that 6-month period, we have a much better idea of what has happened, what we are going to be able to deliver, and we've made those changes accordingly. So just to highlight kind of one of the programs, so we do meter replacements when they get to that 7,500 kilolitres. We've been slow in doing that because we don't have the staff to do it. They are still operational. There's not a problem with them, but we know that optimally under that 7,500 kilolitres is best. So short term, it's not an operational problem, but long term, it does become an operational problem because there is then a backlog of water meters that need to be replaced. So it's a similar story in trunk mains and reservoirs, just doing those operational maintenance tasks of fixing leaks and changing consumables. They are being delayed, so we're not spending the money, and the staff are occupied doing the things that they need to do in terms of services and flushing. They're not doing the more short to medium term tasks. So that staff shortage does reflect through into our capital programs. They're not also being delivered, and that EMOX position really does drive that capital program for us. We now have the engineering staff sitting in there. They are starting to get some of these projects started. So we have done a reforecast, and we have taken some projects out because we know they just don't have the capacity to deliver them. They're itemised on page 31 and 32. But we have, as you said, we have the Canal Depot that is full steam ahead. They've submitted the DA, so we have engaged the contractor. We've sent them a purchase order, so we're going ahead with that, subject to DA approval, of course. The reservoir ladders, they're actively on that, and then just kind of January, February, so we're not seeing the expenditure in the report yet, but they are actively working on the telemetry upgrades, your Yarra pump station, as we said, the Blaney office upgrades, metering on 19 reservoirs, car cores, water treatment plant, chlorine lifting system, the Quandiola Borum Reservoir and the Goolagong Bore. So it's going to be a busy 5 months for the engineering team. And obviously not necessarily everything's going to be finished, but we do want to have them started. We're committed in expenditure so that we can look at revotes and carry forwards come at the end of the financial year. Operationally, there's a few adjustments for where we have budgets set off if we need them, as required. So the electricity is a good one. We're not using Grenfell McDonald's Lane pump station, but we need to hold the electricity budget for that initially in case we need to use it. As we know, 6 months through, we're not using it, it's not looking like we're going to use it, we can then adjust the budget down. So that was actually quite a big one because it's quite expensive to run that pump station. And the same for water analysis. If we need more water analysis, we don't want to be looking for the budget for it. We need to be able to do it. So we hold the budget until we know otherwise. So they're the kind of, we are running business as usual. We're not necessarily running to the maximum of the budget in those areas. In straightforward, good news, interest rates have remained high. So we're looking at about $150,000 extra in interest, and from both that kind of delayed capital program, not spending the money, but also the interest rates. And that's one of our free revenues. We don't have to do anything for it.
Well done.
We've got a smile at you. When you come, just smile. Thank you.
That's right.
Thank you, Claire. That's great. That is good news. Do I have questions or comments from anyone about the QBR?
No.
I guess we're revoting some of those items, recommended changes for council resolutions on page 32. I'd just like assurance that we're going to come back to these things.
They are reprogrammed into next year. Yes,
Yeah.
It's just, there's just not the capacity.
They're just not being done at the moment, and so we'll revote them in the new year.
Yep.
Yeah, new financial year. Okay. Have you got a sense of the impact of the changes in rates that we've instituted in recent times? Impact on our income?
Specifically the 20% or the vacant land charges?
Let's go through them.
So the 20% which was adopted for the 2-year period, it does make next year, subject to finishing the long-term financial plan, a surplus year.
Yes.
It's not going to be an enormous surplus. That's not the purpose of the council anyway.
No.
So we'll look at making sure that that's either reserved into capital or we actually engage it straight away into a capital program. The vacant land charge, we're actually looking at about 750 assessments. There's still some that will need to come out of that. We haven't done the council community land exemptions yet because we're just still collecting ownership information. So when it comes up and it says Wedden owns this land, we will then look, okay, is this dedicated community land? And if so, then it comes off because that's not going to be charged. So that actually equates to around about $140,000 a year. So it's a good revenue stream, really solid revenue stream. We will obviously have collection challenges around that because there's not a service. You can't restrict a service when it's an availability. So we will have collection challenges, that's a given. But that's not something we can't manage.
Through the chair, now, just what you're saying there now, so if the water's not running past that vacant block, you can't charge them.
No.
No.
And it's only the reticulation network that we're charging for. So if there's a trunk main, ideally we wouldn't service from the trunk main anyway, so we're not going to charge for the trunk main. So it's just the reticulation network, and it's not going to be charged to rural. So if you're zoned rural, you're also exempted.
Thank you.
Through you, Mr. Chair, but isn't it anyone within 250 metres of the
Through your
line?
chair, the legislation is
Yeah.
225 metres from any water pipe, effectively, but we have chosen to just bring that back to reticulation and where we can expect to serve it. So if there's property on the other side of the railway, we really don't want to service that, so we're not going to charge that because we wouldn't actually like to put a connection in.
So if someone bought that block, they could straight away get the water on because it's ready to go.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's who we're charging. The
That's the one you charge.
reticulation network is running by your house already or within 225 metres, and we could quite reasonably put a service connection in.
No.
No doubt the girls in the office, once it starts, will get a few phone calls.
Yeah.
But we're hoping to send letters for that at the middle end of March. The first bill would be May, so we do have some time in there because there will be things on people's property that we haven't been able to assess.
Yeah.
That's just a given with the volume. So we're open to customers coming back and saying, I can't build on this lot for this reason that you haven't picked up, and we can assess that and then agree or disagree. So that 750 will come down probably a little bit further. But we've done what's reasonable from zoning, from flow, from environmental sensitivity, from can we actually connect. So we've done quite a lot of assessments, but there invariably will be some odd exceptions that we just haven't picked up on.
I'd just like to see that money being put into somewhere ready for, to fix things or to renew. To renew things. I don't know, is that what you're going to do? Or?
Well, it's all part of the maintenance program, so it goes into the general income, and then it's the maintenance program, feeds into the maintenance program from there.
Yeah, that's good. So maybe we do need you send all that mess in Canamble when all the water breaks. We don't want that to happen, do we?
Well, ramming not for that to happen, indeed. No further questions, comments? Thank you. I'll put that. All in favour?
Aye.
That's carried. Thanks, Craig. Item 11.6, page 35, the investment report as at 31st of December and 31st of January. There's 2 reports there. They need to be reported monthly. So there are 2 reports. The recommendation that Council note the report on cash investments for both 31st and 31st of January 2026. I'll over. Councillor Nash and seconded by Councillor Newstead. Back to Claire.
Thank you, Chair. I will take the report as read. The investment report is often very straightforward and dry.
I love them.
And this was written before the RBA did the hike in February, so we'll report on that in February.
Yeah.
At December, January, things really were just ticking along. We're just trying to make sure we have regular investments coming off and making sure we're holding the right amount of cash, because as our total cash balance has increased, our amount of liquid cash has also increased. So previously we were sitting at 500,000, and that was kind of their safe figure. But now it being 10%, actually 10% needs to be a little bit higher. So we're just making sure we balance that to meet the investment policy.
Okay.
I think it's impressive that we've managed to stay well above the average.
The gap is closing, unfortunately.
Yeah,
But
I did notice the gap was closing, but it's still good. It's still
that's
good.
the lag of investments to the rate, benchmark rate. We don't have investments coming up every day where we can jump on things. So there's always a lag in terms of how the rates move.
And how do you get them to stay above that average? Is that just from constant, not constant monitoring, and then quickly doing turnovers to a new rate? Is that how often, how frequently do you grab a new rate?
It is driven by when our investments mature.
Okay, so it's all about maturity. Okay.
Yes, so you are subject to this investment's coming up this week, the rate's good. If your investment's coming up next week and the rate's not good, you kind of a price taker in that market. We don't have liquid cash to just jump on things as days. You could wait a few days to get better, but equally the interest you lose in those 3-4 days of waiting for 3-5 basis points, it's not really worth the wait because you've lost that interest in holding. So we often just turn them over the same day.
Okay, yeah. But you're monitoring it at all times,
Yes.
every day.
And we do have a little buffer. If something fabulous came up, we may go ahead for that, but nothing, the market's pretty steady.
Any questions, comments? It's a good situation to be in.
It is so.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'll put that, all in favour?
Aye.
That's carried. Thank you, Claire. Next item is 11.7, is that right? Page 43, delivery program 6-month progress report. Recommendation, the council note the delivery program 6-month progress report covering the period July to December of last year. Mover, Councillor Goswich, seconded by Councillor Parlett. I hand over to your old role as the Executive Manager of Corporate Services. Thanks for that.
So as you can see from the report, we have progressed quite a few, and there are a lot in progress already. The highlight, I guess, is the first item where delivery of capital works program, and as explained in the quarterly budget review, the reason why we've rated it, we could have put it as in progress, but I think the low level that we've actually progressed it warranted not progressing. And as we mentioned, that we should hopefully will be able to improve that over the next 6 months. So apart from that,
with better recruitment.
we've got staff on board. We've already got the engineering staff on who are moving some projects forward, and we've been successful in recruiting network operators as well, so we're moving forward.
Thank you. Any questions, comments?
The whole report, or
Oh, so you can go through them if you wish, it's up to you. I don't
I
know.
also had a question through your chair.
So go for it.
Probably had two. The whole point just one actually. With strategic priority number 2, we've got the review update, community and stakeholder engagement strategy.
Yeah.
Will that be talking to councils as well,
Yes,
as councillors or council staff?
both.
Okay, cool. I just think when, similar to Councillor Nash's discussion about housing and whatever else, I think it might be good to have a talk about that, what's coming up.
Sure.
Thank you.
This is as in coming on to council, each of the constituent councils and having a chat about what CTW is doing.
Yeah, what we're doing and where we're going.
So we used to do that, didn't we? It used to happen a while back, but it doesn't seem to have. I've been talking internally with my council, saying, look, I should probably come and give a a report every 6 months or every year at least back to our constituent councils if needed.
Yeah.
And we haven't really progressed that, but I'm happy to do it. What do you do in other councils? Do you need to report back? No?
I've just done an annual sort of report, but that's it.
Yeah,
Speak to Charlie about it.
Yeah.
About putting
You
putting
want
something
GM,
out.
Putting something
GM there, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
I think
need
it's
to,
worth doing. Yeah, just, I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, in our own councils, other councils can talk to us and ask,
Ask us.
and we can also look at, the
Minutes.
recordings and minutes and so on. And it's certainly if we've got projects in common with our other, so for example, a sub-regional town water strategy
Yeah.
is in common with Cabon and Orange.
Yeah.
That gets reported separately up to Cabon. And so we have those discussions in those items, but I think we should be happy to go to each of our constituent councils and give a report back. Yeah. Good question. Any other questions, comments? Okay, thank you. I'll put that. All in favour? That's carried. Thank you. Moving on to 11.8, OLG Model Code of Meeting Practice Supplementary Guidance. It's really just recommended the council note the Model Code of Meeting Practice Supplementary Guidance materials which are online. Can I have a mover? Councillor Best and Councillor Boswich. Any questions, comments? I think it's self-explanatory.
yeah, it was a report, when we when we did the Code of Meeting Practice, it was reported that the OLG was putting more information out. And this is the information that they put out. So I did put some copies around the table, but it's full. All of the data is available on the OLG website.
Yeah.
Only comment I can make is the only thing I can see different is that you're saying that you have to give community the opportunity to argue against something we put in place council. If it was already guidelines before, now you have to make it more obvious. I suppose that's about the only I can see the difference. Yeah. We're pretty much the same.
Yeah. So really it's just this item really is just to remind us that this information exists. I think with all of our constituent councils, we've had the same information being passed around, but it's here for us as well. I mean, obviously there's some literal physical changes for us, like for example, now we live stream these meetings rather than just audio record them. And if you're still on there, Charlie, pina coladas, little umbrellas. So any other comments, questions? No. Okay, I'll put that. All in favour? Okay, thank you. 11.9, the April council meeting date adjustments. Recommendation there is the council resolved to move its April 2026 meeting to Wednesday the 29th of April, which is 2 weeks after what it was originally planned for. Can I have a mover? Councillor Paulette, seconded by Councillor Nash. I think we need some explanation on this one, so I'll hand it over to the acting general manager.
So through you, Mr. Chair, the reason that we talked about moving the date rather than having an extraordinary meeting, previously we've had extraordinary meetings in early May. We believe, talking with Claire and the general manager, that we can meet the deadline if just an extra 2 weeks was provided, rather than having an additional meeting in May. So that's the thinking behind it.
So the plan is, instead of 2 meetings, we have 1 meeting.
That's correct.
Which covers all of that materials, the whole IPNR.
I was going to say, yeah, the April meeting is the IPNR, so it's the budgets and the strategy plans.
Very good.
That's good.
Just how's everyone's diaries? So that's the important thing.
No, it still doesn't suit me, but
Nothing suits.
no, that's all right.
We're just very glad to see you here today.
I can do the 30th, it's the 29th is a bit different.
Oh,
That's all
Where
matter
that
if it's
meeting
a
be?
30th?
Where's the April meeting?
Would it matter if it's a Thursday?
It'd be in Greenfield. April,
So it'll be in Grenfell, will it?
Yeah.
For that one?
scheduled to be in Grenfell.
Scheduled to be in Grenfell.
Does it need to be a Wednesday?
It's up to you, you can do it another day. if you
Thursday,
wish.
30th,
Do it Thursday.
I would prefer, that's just me.
Craig could make
I just can't make,
Thursday.
I can't make.
Thursday bother anyone?
Thursday's fine for me.
Which is the 30th.
30th?
30th of April, just bear with me.
Thursday doesn't bother me
I think I'm not.
so far.
We getting into Easter, or is that after Easter?
That's after.
Next
after
is
Easter.
this week.
Okay. Yeah, looks to be okay for me.
Yeah.
Well,
But it
we don't know
doesn't
about
worry.
Charlie. Um,
I'm
He
pretty
doesn't
sure
have
our,
any leave.
I'm pretty sure our
He
diaries
would have approved.
can cope with that, it'll be fine.
So this is at Grenfell.
It's
Yeah.
scheduled to be good.
Actually, having it on the Thursday might be better for us, as in councillor Nash and myself, because as we discussed
Gives you
yesterday,
extra.
it gives us an extra day to get through the
Between.
business, because we have a council meeting on the Tuesday.
Yeah.
And we'll have a lot of business papers to get through for the Tuesday meeting, and then to have this the following day.
Because this is always a busy time, isn't it?
So, yeah, it's busy, and indeed, the Cabon meeting will be similarly with the same material that are going through IPNR.
Mm.
Yeah. So having it on the Thursday might be better.
And we're scheduled to go out to Grenfell, so everyone's happy with that.
Happy with Grenfell.
Grenfell, yeah.
Start a little bit early in the afternoon.
Okay, we'll adjust the,
So we adjust this, so
Thursday the 30th.
we'll change that to everyone's happy. I mean, obviously, this is subject to,
We were going to change it all, weren't we, to have it here? Which one, weren't we? Wednesday.
That's what I was
wrote
just
down
confirming.
in mine.
Yeah,
you wrote it down, Blaney, for that meeting,
I did.
for the April
Yeah.
meeting.
So I thought we were, now that we're live streaming,
no, we did talk about that,
That's
and but it was decided that we'll keep the roster of moving them around.
Around.
Grenfell and Blaney are actually the best places to hold the meetings for the live streaming, but because we will see what it's like when the new Canowindra Library opens. We're hoping to use their facilities.
for sure.
But we can, it's up to you where you want to hold it.
Sorry,
We're
I just
easy
thought
with Blaney.
with, all the other meetings at Canberra would be great because it's so central.
Yeah,
Central.
it's just the facilities that we're
Eventually, maybe.
struggling with, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the library will be open in the next couple of weeks, won't it?
It's very soon, yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost ready.
So you don't have to cart all that
No,
stuff to Grenfell?
No.
Grenfell's got.
we have the fortune of using Grenfell equipment
Oh, okay.
and the wedding council, yeah.
Yeah, okay, well, so we'll stick to Grenfell.
Okay.
All right, is everybody happy with that?
Yeah, I just wanted to leave a little bit early. in the
Yeah, that's right, it's a long way
I've got
for you
no
and me.
I've got no problem.
Need to check if the council wants it.
So we're now saying it's Thursday, April.
Yeah. So through you, Mr Chair, we will say Grenfell at this point in time, but we'll just double check the wedding council chambers are available.
Oh, yes, indeed.
Yeah, but let's just settle on the date and we'll let you know about where the location.
Yeah, because last time they were busy there, weren't they?
Yeah.
So we'll check that. Let's just confirm the Thursday, the 30th at this point in time.
So we could have it here.
I'll double check. Yeah, otherwise, yeah.
So the recommendation is to move the April 2026 meeting, which was in the middle of the month, to the 30th of April. We'll check to see that, if Grenfell is available. If not, then we'll have it here.
Yeah.
Okay, so the movers and seconders are happy with that change? Okay, thank you. Well, I'll put that. All in favour?
Aye.
That's carried. Thank you. I'll just quickly pause it while Councillor Newstead is on the phone. Please pause that. Sorry, Councillor Newstead has just stepped out of the room to take a call, so we'll just pause the meeting just for a moment.
You need to use the middle one, onto that one.
We're all going? Okay, thank you. So we'll just resume the meeting now that Councillor Newstead's back in the room.
Sorry about that.
That's
Just
okay.
my dad's in hospital.
I understand. No, it's no problem. No problem. We're up to 11.10, policy reviews, page 52. The recommendation there is the council endorse the following policies and place them on public display for a period of 28 days. That's the asset capitalisation, rural water supply and asset management policies. Secondly, to remove the gathering information policy from the policy register as it's a procedure and not a policy. Thirdly, to, if no substantial submissions are received during the public display period, the documents be adopted. And lastly, policies endorsed under this recommendation shall take precedence over previous council resolutions where applicable. Can I have a mover? Councillor Goswitch, seconded by Councillor Nash. Corporate Service Manager. We have a Corporate Service Manager. Acting General Manager.
To Mr. Chair. So I'll take the report as read. There are two policies that were reviewed, the rural water supply and the asset management, and then a new asset capitalisation. I'm happy to take any questions. We might start with those ones first.
Well, why don't we go through each of them?
Yeah.
Start with the first
Rural
one is the
water
rural water supply policy. So that's one that's been revised. Full update to include water quality commentary and definitions. So this is a new.
Yeah, through the chair, I did notice that there's going to be another an area where the water can go through but not come back, which is good. It goes into the system, but it doesn't come back, which is, I thought,
We've always had that.
Yeah.
This is the backflow prevention device. Yes. And this is actually a question I had yesterday. This is item 12.
Yeah.
I was asking the question yesterday was the backflow prevention device. It says may also be fitted. I was wondering whether that should be must be fitted.
yeah.
I did have some discussions through you, Mr. Chair, and no one could come up with a conclusive must. There are different reasons why they can and can't. You know, some can't be
For
installed.
instance, in the top of the tank or into a bottom of the tank, for instance, there's no possible way for water contamination to come back.
Oh, I see. So there's okay. So
That's why it has may
it's
also.
may rather than must.
Yes, it depends on the actual type.
Type of fit up and stuff.
Okay, so if there's no danger of there being backflow, then it's, yeah,
Yes.
okay.
So that would be left to the engineers or the person that's in charge of
The technical or operational staff.
Yeah.
Assess that.
assess it. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry, any questions?
One similar to yours.
Yeah.
On that, it says with similar on number 12, responsible for the cost of testing and maintaining the device as a sole responsible property owner. Do they have to give a copy to Central Tablelands, or how often, or what is? We've got that in
Yes, I believe that they are. There is a responsibility to provide that to Central Tablelands. I'm sorry, I don't know the frequency of that. Yeah.
I just think we have it in there. We probably need to have some sort of, where it's yearly.
Yeah.
Every 5 years. I'm not quite sure. There must be some,
Timing,
because
okay.
we've got it in there that it's
Yeah.
a responsibility.
Okay, I'll look into that.
Yeah, how frequently?
So to anybody else, another question, anything over 20 mil services is not considered a rural property, is it? So you, like anyone else asking for a bigger connection service, so that's completely.
Yep.
With the rules for water now, we have to be really careful, don't we? We don't have that cross contamination, that's the main thing. I think.
I've got a couple of comments or questions, which I discussed with Acting General Manager yesterday, but in item 1 there, for the purposes of this policy, any property located outside of the town or village 50-kilometre area, and I would suggest that we add that it is not connected to the town's reticulated water supply. So the reticulation and 50k zone limit are not necessarily the exact same point. So, so there's going to be people who are outside of the 50K zone, but are already on the reticulation, and vice versa. Yeah, so that just needs to be made clearer a little bit. That,
Yep.
So if you're outside of the 50K area and you're not already connected to the reticulation, that's what this would refer to. You would then become a rural customer. Does that make sense?
Well, some people are already connected, you say.
Yeah, there would be
Yes.
some.
Yeah.
There would be some. Yeah, so it's basically where the 50K limit is and where our reticulation goes to may not be exactly the same
Yeah.
position.
So I think probably 50K probably need to be taken out.
Okay.
So that's the question that we need to determine, because we have an example in Wenham where there's been, in Grenfell, there's been an subdivision. 50 kilometres is here, the subdivision goes all this way and the reticulation goes that way. So which one do you want to?
I think the wording, it depends, the wording, if you're on the reticulation main,
Yeah.
you're not a rural customer,
That's right.
you're on a retic, you're on the town supplier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Consider that if you're on, I think
I'm
it's
just trying
the
to
wording
think
of
if
how
there's
we have our own,
Yeah,
our own policy is probably, we word it, if you're on the,
Yeah.
what's maybe what CTW classifies as retic, does not have to have, it's not rural, and rural is this.
is that, I'll take it on
Can I-
board and we'll.
Can I give an example?
yeah.
So Treasury.
Yep.
Is reticulation network. At this point, we haven't applied the vacant land to them because they're rural. Because like they're rurally zoned. So like there's an example of it is rural. Treasury is rural, but there is a reticulation network. So I'm trying to find the opposite to make sure we consider both.
But they
angles.
also, they also be restricted to 6.3 now,
That's a technical question. I'm a finance
which
person.
I think. I'm just thinking,
Yeah, and we probably shouldn't
that's why I think.
talk about
that-
individuals.
That's why I think the 50 kilometre area, I think the 50 kilometre limits you, similar to what you're saying with Weden.
Yeah,
It's probably similar to, well, I could tell you a couple of examples in Blaney where you're not, where it's not, where they're on the retic main, but they're outside.
but they're outside.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll do some more discussions on that during the exhibition period.
Yep.
And we'll bring it back to, before we finalise it. Is that, everyone happy with that?
With that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's we want to get this out, so, yeah, at least for public exhibition, that would be good. I think also on 5, there just needs to be a little bit of rewording. I mentioned to you yesterday.
Yep.
I think CTW at its complete discretion can cease providing the wording. The word can should be in there. And the general rewording of that, I think
Yes,
just
we'll have a
doesn't
look at
quite make sense to me, that one.
Yes.
Item 6, CTW reserves the right, not reserve the right.
Yeah.
So that's just the hang on me.
That's right.
And item 18, the property owner is responsible for maintenance and operation of the water supply from the meter. I mean, it's from the meter to where they're consuming, so it's on their side of the meter. I was just, wondering whether or not,
From after the meter into their premise.
yeah, whether or not we need to make that a
We need
little
to clarify
clearer.
that.
Because from the meter could be from the meter in either direction, if you think about it.
That's exactly right.
It's sort of self-explanatory, but I'm just wondering whether or not we should be a little bit more specific about that.
Yeah.
Into the property.
They were the only things that I picked up.
Yeah.
Moving on to the asset management policy. So rewritten to bring in line with the regulations best practice, I noticed that.
That is correct. So I'm going to assume that it is read. Just highlighting that on page 61, the paragraph in black, the policy provides, that actually should have been removed, as well as the top bit, because it's replaced with the bottom paragraph.
Has everyone got that?
Mm.
Yeah, so it just should be removed from there because it's in fact, it's in the edit anyway. So it's just repeated there. Any questions, comments? Nothing? Okay, moving on to the next one, which is the asset capitalisation policy, which I think is a brand new policy.
It is a brand new policy and as it mentions, it's following an audit recommendation. And I'm taking it as read. If there's any questions.
It's good, yeah.
I actually had questions, but then you answered them further in the policy. So it's sort of,
Right,
yeah, it was sort of,
okay.
So we read the whole policy before.
well, pretty much
Yeah.
notes and then
Yeah,
come
yeah.
back and then further down.
Yeah, that
Like
happens.
with the costs and stuff like that.
It'd have to be better for you guys to be able to just go to a policy and,
Definitely.
yeah. So to get them right is
It
very
can be
important.
consistent as well.
Yeah,
It's very, very good.
Now, I must say, I couldn't see anything in here that
no.
I had any particular objection to or concern about.
Okay.
But we've got a 28-day period
Yep,
of
yep.
review.
And so the other document involved in this report is the gathering information policy. Now, apologies, we haven't included the actual policy, but this, when we were reviewing it, it became very clear that this is actually a procedure for staff, not a policy. So, and I spoke with the chair yesterday, and what we'll do is we will bring back both the policy and the procedure to council for review so that you can see exactly why it's a procedure.
Okay, so we'll modify then the recommendation, is that correct?
That's correct.
If we go right back to page 52. Okay, so we actually remove recommendation 2?
Yep.
Is that,
Two out, that's correct.
so we just remove that?
Yeah.
So,
And-
and that'll just be brought to the, so we'll defer that to the next meeting.
Yep, and number 3, if we could please, number 2 now, yep, change to say that the rural, at the end, if no submissions, and then put at the rural water supply policy is to be returned to council prior to adoption, to be adopted, so that it
That's
comes
right,
back.
that's
Yeah.
right. So
It's
we're
not
gonna,
just assumed that
it's not gonna be assumed yet, so it's gonna be brought back no matter what.
we might actually make that a number 3.
Does everyone
Council
get
for
that? Because we've
adoption.
already had the discussion about the potential changes to that policy. So that needs to come back to us for final adoption. Whereas the others, if there's no substantial submissions, they get adopted.
Yeah.
Is that correct? Is that correct? Everyone's happy with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we will bring back the gathering information policy. Stroke procedure.
Yeah.
At the next meeting as well, so we'll defer that one.
Yeah.
Okay. The mover and seconder, happy with that?
Yeah, whoever it was.
Happy with those modifications?
Who was it?
Craig and you.
We're happy
So
with
you're
it.
happy with
Craig,
those?
you were here, I couldn't remember.
You're happy with those changes? Okay, if you're happy with those changes, then, now, are there any other questions or comments about those policies? No. Okay, well, I'll put that all in favour.
Aye.
That's carried. Thank you, that was good. And now we're getting to
Page
this.
76.
76, thank you. Just trying to find it. Okay, the risk register review, page 76, this is item 1111. Another recommendation, the council endorse the risk register presented in the report. Got a mover. Councillor Goswich and seconded by Councillor Nash. I'll hand over to you, Lynette, again, to
Okay,
Acting General Manager to discuss this one.
so through you, Mr. Chair, basically the risk register has been updated not only to include the water audit and the risks that came out of that, but also to improve the actual register itself of all about the risks that we can envisage for CTW. I'm happy to take questions and talk through it. I did talk with the chair yesterday, and I'll start off with that. The likelihood of the water risks. We had a discussion that after the likelihood following proposed actions is still likely, and the discussion was that, well, should they still be likely, or are they, have they been addressed, and so it reduces that chance of it happening. I haven't had a chance to review all of those.
No, that's fine.
But, we'll.
It needs discussion here
Yeah.
anyway, so.
Yeah. So that's the starting point, and I'm happy to, I have put some larger copies on the table if need be, but. The floor's open.
Yeah, no, look, I'll open it for discussion or comment, right, questions?
I'm good.
Hmm?
I'm pretty good with it.
Oh, you're good with it, okay.
It's very thorough. Thank you.
The question or discussion I had with Lynette yesterday was about, particularly if you look further down to where we've got the water quality risks.
Yeah.
There's a lot of red there,
Yes, that's the.
which I don't disagree with.
It's so important.
It is. But the residual rating is effectively what it should be, what the risk is after we've done something, after we've put in place, systems which significantly or should significantly reduce the risk of these things happening. Now, in the case, I just use the example in day-to-day operation, raw water, poor water quality, Carpool water treatment plant from Lake Rollins Water. Obviously, if there's a community illness from pathogens, obviously that's a catastrophic consequence, yes?
Mm-hmm.
It's almost certain. Yeah, okay, and therefore comes up with an extreme rating. It's almost certain that there would be a catastrophic consequence. Almost certain that would occur, which I guess is true. But we put in place, what do? We
Unlikely though, isn't it?
well then, when you go back to the likelihood ratings, the expected probability is for almost certain occurs often or has a frequent past history. Well, there is no history of that. The reason why there is no history is because we've put in place systems that don't allow that to occur. So I don't necessarily disagree with having an extreme rating for risk rating for those if we did not have anything in place. But where I think we might need to review this is in the second part where the residual rating after we've gone and done something. Or the residual rating, risk rating should actually be quite low because we don't have a history of these sort of things. We don't, obviously if we didn't do these things, we wouldn't have a high risk.
So through discussion, through use of the chair, just keep in mind, even if we made the likelihood unlikely, because it's unlikely that it would come, it would still be a high risk.
Yeah.
So you're not going to bring it down any lower than a high risk because it's such an extreme
Yes,
event.
correct.
Yeah, so just keep that,
Keep
we'll
that in.
look at the likelihood,
Yeah.
but the actual rating may not change.
The only, similar to what the chair is saying, the other thing I probably, after what he's just said, looking at that, does this go on previous 50 years of operation? Do you know what I mean? So how do we get an extreme, is probably what I'm saying. If we've never had something like that, so should it start off as a high and then come back down to one?
No. Okay, the answer to that is that, and especially with the water quality
Historical, I
side,
suppose.
it's not only the historical, but it's actually taking into account the water regulations and health guidelines and all of those components. They rated that as an extreme.
So they, okay, right.
Extreme.
So it's not only in the
our
actions, in the proposed actions, we can look at our previous history, and I guess we are looking at about 20 years plus of history in the staff that we have currently that we talked through. But yeah, so in the first instance, it's the guidelines and regulations really.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Most important thing is it helps inform your budgetary decisions, doesn't it? Because you say, well, you're going to spend your money on your most high-risk areas. That's just what it comes down to.
I guess.
To make this as possible and safe as we can be, so
That's right.
that's what you use it for.
Yeah.
So, unless there's, have you got any others?
Any other comments or questions? Yeah.
So to move this forward would council like me to go back and look at the likelihood scenarios and adjust those before you endorse it? This is a live document, so it will always be under review.
My thing would be, I don't think I've got the technical expertise to do that. That's the staff should be informing us,
Yeah.
using this to inform us of where they believe inside the organisation the risks are.
Okay, so then I would ask that you endorse this so that we can move forward and then continually review, but taking into consideration that I will go back and look at all the water, likelihood situations.
Yeah. I'll go with Paul there because it says risk rating refer to matrix order, so.
Yeah, the metrics is back on
Back further.
77 and 78.
Yeah. Yeah, these sort of reviews,
Scares you.
these risk matrices get used and abused, they get used in really weird ways. And it does ultimately, as Councillor Best has mentioned, it does ultimately influence what we do in terms of investment, where we invest our money. If that's the end game, then something like this is.
And I suppose it's the alarm goes off like a haunting, doesn't it, if it's a high rating.
Well, it's just something you've got to keep vigilant
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
And in the case of what a council has to keep vigilant about is how much money that we direct to certain things. So it does come down.
And are we directing it to the right directions?
Yeah.
That's
So
more important,
in that sense, then it's appropriate. But if it was identifying a continual, a risk that something's happening, based on likelihood rating, the likelihood rating says, likely the event will probably occur. That's what it says. Or there's a past history of the event occurring several times, and it's going to happen between 50 and 80% of the time. So in our case, many of these things just don't happen because we have systems in place to ensure that they don't happen. So but if you follow the risk rating matrix and what it comes out with, it doesn't quite match what actually happens. Okay. So that's where I was querying it.
That's why you put more layers of protection underneath that one, so that you bring yourself down lower in the risk matrix. You have multiple layers, don't you?
Yeah.
That's what you do. So the hope is that we look back at this in 12 months' time and some of those reds are now gone orange because we've put another layer of protection in between that, sort of making
Or some of the oranges are coming down to lower. Yeah.
Well, I would hope that the residual rating for pretty well all of these, and particularly the water quality ones, should end up being low. Because which is the situation at the moment.
Definitely.
Low risk because we ensure that it's a low risk. So
to reiterate the next comment through you, Chair, because the consequence is catastrophic,
yes,
you will never get a low.
you'll never get a low.
You can't go
Based on this, based on the way in which this matrix is constructed.
Yes.
Yeah.
So whilst ever it's catastrophic, the law just doesn't exist.
Which means death, doesn't it, for people if water's not good.
Because, and it's also important to remember that because we don't want it to be low because then less emphasis is placed on that. Okay, well, we've got that low, so let's look over here where we want to keep our focus on those.
Again, it comes back to what's the purpose of this sort of thing. If the end game is to keeping your eyes on the prize, this is something you've got to maintain vigilance about, then fine. And particularly with the resourcing.
Definitely.
So for the members of the public watching in, don't look at the last column and think that there is a high likelihood of these events occurring. No, that's not the case. Of course, we have systems in place to ensure that they don't. Well, look, I'm happy to put that. The recommendation there is we endorse the risk register as presented.
Yeah.
I'll put that. All in favour?
Aye.
That's carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good discussion. And up to 11:12, page 93, corporate services update recommendation of council note the information provided within corporate services update. Could I have a move? Councillor Newstead and second Councillor Best. Acting General Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So from this report, you can see that we're moving ahead. In the work health and safety area, yes, we have had 4 injuries, but they are injuries that we believe we can resolve and return the employees back to work. The take 5s was a bit of a issue with some of the staff not understanding the importance of doing the take 5s. So we've rectified that and are assessing it as we move forward. I think it's also important to recognise that we have been successful lately in recruiting technical officer and the engineering coordinator, and they are moving ahead, as well as we have also been able to secure a new network operator in Grenfell. On Blaney, unfortunately, we need to go back out, but we'll do that. And the EMOTS position, we did our 3rd round of recruitment. We actually had 2 very good candidates. One, we offered the position. The other one wasn't quite suitable for our organisation. Unfortunately, it was the remuneration once again that we got knocked back on, which was very frustrating because we're quite open through the whole process on what we're offering to have it go that far and then get knocked back. But what we're looking to do, working with the communications and media consultant that we have to promote Central Tablelands Water, who we are, what we do, the training that we provide. There are other things apart from the income that we can offer. So we're looking at doing a little bit of a promo on that, hopefully in the near future. And we are well underway for organising this year's Staff Wellbeing Day. So it'll be held in May again. That's just sort of being organised at this point in time. And I think that's about it at the moment.
Through the chair, there's nothing we can't offer that be him a little bit more money or anything. Is there anything else
We took it up to the highest level of the award line. We even included an additional amount for training, professional development per year. There's the vehicle that we offer as well. We are restricted to a certain point. So we'll get there. It's just finding the right.
Someone will pop up. How do we work?
That's right. Yeah. Just the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it means that
been a while,
the general manager has to take on a fair amount of that.
Yeah, and we are going to use the consultant that we're using for the Safe and Secure program we offered, and we've taken him up on working with us on several projects and some mentoring for the technical staff. So just to free up Charlie a little bit to be able to do some other work. So we'll use him for the next couple of months while we're going through the next recruitment phase. Not for the full role, just for bits and pieces.
Bits and pieces, yeah. Which is good experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any comments, questions?
I suppose the work health and safety one's always concerns me. When 4 inner periods high. I just, looking at the take 5 and stuff, says not being undertaken or hasn't been, or have we gone to maybe electronic? Do we have to look at some funding to try and, because people are doing tasks, like I know in my current job, we do them every day, electronic, we send them through.
Yep.
people can see if we do them or don't do them? Is that what we need to look at, like them?
We are already looking
That's
at that.
operational, but I mean, we do need
Yeah,
more
no, no,
funding to.
We are currently looking at that. Yeah, so we're hoping that, hopefully, this year, by the end of this year, we should be able to have something, online.
Through the chair, what is take 5? What are they supposed to do?
Oh, sorry,
You're
a
right.
take 5 assessment is a risk assessment, so if you go to do a task, you, rather than doing a full, risk assessment, which can be a couple of pages long, this is a simple, looks at, your safety, the, PPE required, and, are we testing me now?
No, that's
Safety,
all right.
PPE, and
They got 5.
and the risk involved in the actual task.
Yeah,
You know,
so they've got
do they
5.
need to review to a safety statement to be able to do the job, or it literally takes 2 to 5 minutes to do.
But it's recorded, so it's something you would normally do in any task.
Yeah.
Yes.
Even if you're at home and you were climbing up a ladder to clean the gutters or something, in the back of your mind, you'd be doing all of those things. Do I need to do this? What should I do to make it safe? But it formalises it, doesn't it?
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And it's one of the things that if there is an injury that is reportable, that's the first thing they ask for.
And if they haven't done it, do they do their work as comp business or not?
That's a question that's been asked.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they've got to really do that, don't they? Like, they've got to, there's got to be a hemmed in there.
And they do, the guys are pretty good, we've had discussions with them. They know that they have to do it, but now we've, given them, I think, a better explanation about how it affects them personally. It's not because I want to see a page with ticks on it and a signature, it's for their safety in the long run. So,
Very important.
and one of the cases we did, take 5 wasn't done. If it was done, they probably would have thought twice about doing what they did.
Doing what they did, yeah.
I can understand people doing it, but they've got to.
I guess the issue is, you do them a lot, don't you, in your current job? Must be a balance between the monotony of doing it, like you've got to do it every time. It's like, do I really have to do this, that sort of thing, versus just the general safety issues. But you do it anyway. I mean, if you go through life and not checking on your own safety, you do it every time you drive down the road. You do certain things which are they just happen because you're ingrained into what you do.
Yeah.
So this just formalises that.
And I know that you did go to a lot of the WH, the big workshops and that, didn't you, last year?
We did, yes. Yeah. And the guys are currently undertaking various trainings this month and next month. There's quite a substantial amount of training happening, so it will be reinforced again.
Yeah, we don't want anyone to get hurt. That's the main thing.
No, definitely not.
And I think that's a message that I think we all agree on here at the board, that we would consider work health and safety critical.
Yeah.
I spoke to the whole staff of that staff wellness day last year, and said that the board considers their work health and safety to be the highest priority. And that message should just come down from here. I think everyone agrees.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, and last year, the Wellbeing Day was all WHS focused. This year, it's WHS and their personal wellbeing. So the day is going to be called a day for you. So we'll see how we go.
Yeah.
We are a nice organisation to work.
What a lovely
That message should get out there. We're a nice organisation to work for. We've got good people. So it's great to see some new staff there. That's fantastic. Yeah.
And that's one of our little, I should say, what's one of our trainees doing the testing, James. So both the trainees are going well. It's been good. Yeah.
That's good. All right. Any other questions or comments on that? Okay, I'll put that all in favour. Thank you for that. We're up to item 12, questions on notice. There are no questions on notice. I think that's the end of the meeting, is that right? Yeah. No other, meeting, what's the next meeting date?
It's the
There
30th.
are no confidential matters. There are no confidential matters. So item 13 is confidential matters. There are no late reports. Conclusion of the meeting. So I'll declare the meeting closed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Isn't there one in March?
No,
There's a, what's it called, technical thing.
workshop.
So
Yeah,
it's-
we work-
There's a strategy workshop.
Yes.
Strategy, yeah, the strategic meetings.
It's another workshop.
We've finished.